work? How? If anything changed? Yes, it seems to be absolutely fine actually, so nothing to really complain about, nothing to really disparage at. So yeah. Let me set this thing. Start. Yeah. Amazing. There we go. Have the timer. We have it. We have it. There we go. There we go. I need to stop. Fuck. It's something wonderful. So many days I say nothing. That's something that goes unmentioned. Whenever I say, yeah, I should stop whispering, I don't speak at any other occasion, so I have to force myself to speak like a human being while throughout the rest of the day that hasn't happened. And that's just to some degree strange, you know? That's like, wow, really? That's what we are trying to do? That's like the way that I have to go about this stuff and such? Man, I will have really hoped for something different, but it's good. It's good in itself. It's good. It's not like, oh wow, such an annoying thing. It's just that, yeah, always, I feel like sometimes, you know, I do not get to do that. I forget to do it. That's the real way to say it. And because I forget, feels it feels so strange. It always has to be to some degree strange, no? Like, why why is he whispering? Yeah, right, question. I don't have a particular answer to your question, like, it just happens. Just found myself naturally doing it. The nature of, I wouldn't say timid, it's not about being timid. It's something else. What is it actually? No clue. Whatever it is, no clue. But yeah, point being, I am amazing. I am absolutely amazing. Forgot to add the Twitch link. I am incredible. I am unbelievable. There we go. But yeah, I was trying to say, and I don't know. It happens. It has such a degree of a tendency to happen. I do it albeit unconsciously, as I have tried to say, but yeah, it's good. It's all good. It's all part of the experience. It is bound to happening or such. Today, I have to update. Wait, I need first and foremost games. I need to actually update the. Oh no, you cannot say that. Do you truly think I would have bought for myself a PlayStation? Like, do you think that would have happened? Like, let's sit on that thought for a second. You truly think that happened? Eh? You truly believe that that's what's happening here? Eh? Um, let me open the game for a second. The last boot was. I don't really understand exactly how to get it to work without it like showing any problem at all. That's a problem. That's certainly a problem. And it's fine to some degree. It's fine. It is whatever. I am accustomed to it being actually whatever. This guy? No. I was doing something as someone. The question is, doing what as who? If I knew, my man. If I had any idea whatsoever. It can happen, but it's not something you actually worry about, I guess. It's fine, whichever way. Anyways, so. Also, since when does this game have so many unlockable riders? Amazing. I guess, give me the normal one. But no, wait. My point is, if we are good, actually let me close this and update now. Yes. Open this and this thing. Update, yeah. There we go. Amazing, amazing. Okay, there it is. Good enough, good enough. So, everything is said. No. Not everything, actually. I need to open this. Yeah. No, whether it doesn't work. So it has to be a fresh boot. And the question is settings, audio. Neutral sound. There we go. Activator. Last time I think I went ahead with the normal game audio and it worked. This time too it will work without any issue whatsoever. So there we go. There we have the game. And now comes the... Did it truly say what has been already unlocked? No? It should have. There is like no reason for it to not save it. Seems to have done so, probably. We are good to go, I guess. Yes, seems to be the case. Yeah, okay. Works well enough then. I don't really have much more to say. No, wait, I do still have. I am amazing. I forgot like twice to set it up actually. Transform. To screen. There we go. What the fuck is that? No. Don't. Can you not show that? For the love of God? Can you do me a favor and not show that? Okay. Seems to not want to actually... Is this why I had set up the... What was it? Okay, there it works. I can hide the previous one. Okay, there we go. There we have it. So, I have the starting screen on BRB. Doesn't matter, we are all good. Good morning. Good morning. Today, it is a new day. The sun is rising. The birds are out there chirping. And we have no real compromise with anything else, I would say, so we are free to simply play something simple, something beautiful, like, yes, downhill domination. I think like that is the easiest route for today. Anyways, yeah, I would have said, let's try simply just talking. I rather not. I would much rather not. So yeah. Anyways, it is quite crazy. It has been a long time since. My God, I really chose this thing. I'm amazing. I truly chose the probably worst scenario possible to try, and I am the kind. I am absolutely amazing in that sense, yeah. Let me. Oh. But yeah, anyways. It has been not that long. Luckily enough, it hasn't been that long. We had the possibility of, yeah, it has been taking everything into consideration. It has been an amazing handful of last days, I will say so. That makes it surprisingly enough yet another one to the list. Well, I have okay. There is something to add to say there, and that is, we only the sad reality of, do you know what happened? Sadly, that despite everything else, there were a handful of days that weren't exactly in my hands, and that is quite crazy to see. I also finished already this level, amazing. I wasn't expecting to see that we will end up missing a handful of them because of external situations. But it is possible to have that happen in the end. It's I wouldn't exactly say a compromise, but something that you should be willing to acknowledge, something that can occur. The eternally present external forces and whatnot, and all of those things that end up making you feel like, amazingly enough, indeed, I am in the end still in a place like this, not enjoying, but rather amazed by the reality of, and indeed, we have yet again ended up absolutely in a different place, absolutely in a different situation from what was actually expected and from what was the desire, I will say. And that is, to some extent, always difficult to do. Right? Like, my what we set our sights on wasn't really guaranteed, nor, was what we ended up getting in the end, and that makes it quite astoundingly a strange thing to sense, to see that, despite whatever one trial, we ended up in a different place, basically enough, and under different conditions, regardless of all the other setup. So that made it, despite this handful of days being in not in themselves, with the consideration of what are the quote-unquote efforts and whatnot existed behind, it made a handful of them that didn't go exactly as planned have that strange sensation behind them, basically. And that is always something weird to properly adapt to. It's like, wow. But so much of what happens is always about that there are so many layers of life that are based on that very same situation. So many things that are there is a particular line that I have been struggling to deal with, so to speak, is in the mind of the visionary, things happen earlier, always. And I feel like, to some degree, that's not always the case. One of the handful of surprising revelations is to see that in the end, there are still a handful of other things that are not instantaneously recognized, so to speak, that are not instantaneously solved simply because you are capable of picturing them, so to speak, of trying to think about them. That makes it, in the end, then yes, quite well to see that. Not well. Okay, sorry, not exactly well. Not exactly well. I wouldn't say exactly well. I don't think that well is exactly the correct way to mention it. It's just strange to realize that in the end, there are a handful of things that went in completely different directions, no matter what was dreamed, no matter what was thought about, and that leaves a flavor, a different flavor in the mouth. The capacity to create images about what the future should look like and whatnot makes it so that in the case of you realizing that so much of what happened didn't align exactly with that very same creator image of the future, makes it so that when the necessity to recognize the world comes, when the necessity to reckon what was basic, once again, basic reality, the simplicity of, indeed, this is all that we got and such, leaves the person with that taste of, wow, amazingly, so much of this was something entirely else from what we could have imagined. And that is not bad, not exactly bad, but it is still quite hard to deal with. The desire, you can say it like that, the desire to believe that you can actually predict the reality leaves too many times to people actually committing the in itself. I wouldn't say performance, it's not a performance in that case. You can utilize performance in many situations, in many cases, basically, and in very accurate ways to begin with. It's not like, well, you're saying performance despite you not having any clue of what you're saying. It's an appropriate thing to utilize. The act of performing for the sake of reaching a better world, so to speak. Okay, it does happen that in cases like this one, it doesn't really feel like that's exactly what goes on. There is a lot of, I just want to have in my mind as much as I can, and the promise of, yeah, I will indeed, by thinking out everything, be capable of projecting that whole everythingness, so to speak, onto my own mind. Therefore, from that towards the incoming future leads to the encounter with, maybe it doesn't really happen like that. Maybe it doesn't exactly lead to that consequence of, I am guaranteed to get what I was imagining. I do not harvest that benefit of, I, I absolutely see the world become what I imagined. There is a lot of, I do think about many things, but I am still surprised once the world itself actually becomes what it is meant to be. And it's sad to see how much of an interest there is to make that quote unquote notion that, indeed, you can spend your entire existence imagining stuff and that will work out in your favor. Because it feels mostly like a promise of, you're going to actually be the one who has that capacity, when it doesn't really happen in most cases. Seems to not be an actual possibility for most of those who try to do anything of that sort. It, the outcome is entirely different from what you are expecting. And in that sense, yeah, in a negative way. And it's it's just hard to see or to say that, and so much of life is still completely unpredictable. So much, I you can say it like that. So much of what we try to do by committing to the act of thinking, so to speak, is trying to bring forward a reality that becomes by itself without any need for extra thought, basically. Instantaneously understandable, instantaneously, how do you say it? Like, exactly what you can picture. The desire to not picture what is in the end the wrong thing, but rather the interest in picturing that totally right view of the world, that absolutely perfect manner of thinking out the stuff, which can then lead to the consecration of. And in my case, I am not encountering a different world. I am enjoying the beauty of knowing that all that I imagined is what happened. The fiction, perhaps you can say, it's a difficult word because in many cases it doesn't apply exactly like that. But in this one, it is quite correct to say that it is the fiction of, yeah, you know what? You will be the one who actually gets to picture the world in that proper way that lets you now grasp at what you're looking for and what you are trying to make real with the act of thinking, believing out everything else, to the degree to which there is a lot of damage being experienced from anyone who tries to make that happen. Because once again, it is the unfulfillable promise of, you will actually create something else. You will be capable of bringing forward a different world by the act of allowing things to change in their own nature, and by the act of trying to make sure that whatever happens gets to be without any issue whatsoever exactly what you have thought about. Like a degree of you could utilize the word of one of the magical ways of thinking out the world that has to do with manifestation, whatnot. The aspect of, yeah, if you make sure, or it's not that if you make sure, as long as you're capable of imagining everyone hard enough, then for sure that will be rendered to you, basically. And that is, to some degree, quite damaging, quite harmful. In nature, quite bad. Yet, we have gotten extremely accustomed to the mode of, yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine. It's not bad for anyone to think out things in that way. It's absolutely not to say that it isn't correct, but along the lines of it is good for you to spend so much of your energy simply in that place of, yeah, today you will choose to believe that this is what the outcome of things is going to be and what not. And by letting that happen, by letting that exist, to the degree to which we do, then it happens that the actual capacity to deal with the current world ends up being absolutely diminished. The true world, so to speak, is far less what we actually can encounter, and it becomes this entirely different aspect of, and now in front of us we get to have this totally unexpected world. Because there is so much that goes on that it's not that it doesn't make sense, it's understandable. The promise of, okay, as long as you or me or anyone basically tries to think about what might happen, there is an almost guaranteed chance of seeing that come true. The desire to harness that very same quote-unquote true world, you know? And that happens to a degree to which most end up simply in the place of, okay, then it has to be true. It has to be true. We repeat it so much that it means that it is true, for me too, that we will encounter what we think about and nothing else, and it will be absolutely fine. Nothing will change in nature, basically. It will all be according to the plan, basically. And sadly, that is not the case at all. That is not at all the case, and it is to such a degree not the case that it surprisingly becomes a lot about, wow, actually, so much of life ends up being never what you expect. But because in the end, the conclusion that I have mentioned already, there is no way to actually make that happen. It is an unfulfillable promise, an unachievable dream that life will be exactly what you want. There are many ways I believe that we are capable of making that not be exactly the case, and it's understandable to some degree. It's almost something to congratulate others for, the acceptance that indeed sometimes the world itself that we get to see is not what we were thinking about. It's not what we could ever dream about, basically. The degree to which, unavoidable in the end, all of it becomes just a more a crazy reality. But it is still, in itself, it is still different, you know? And it is so to the degree to which we still encounter the world as this, not grotesque. I was gonna say grotesque, but it isn't really grotesque. It's just absolutely different, way too different of a thing, because what you encounter out there is unavoidably not what you can imagine, not what you can ever assume might happen, and that comes with the price of, and indeed, this is going to be exactly how things go, but sometimes it is that thing which catches you off guard, or what surprises you the most also. And that's when it actually feels hard to understand what was the meaning of things in the end. What the question that I'm trying to actually pose is, what's the true point behind it? And I'm just like imagining so much of this reality, so to speak, will actually lead to something beneficial. You know, the interest in talking out this entire world as something conquerable, you could say, simply through the mind, through the act of thinking out the world. It's like you could say that perhaps one of the most common ideas is that indeed you, by thinking out what will happen, ensure that what happens is what you pictured. When that's not the case, that's not exactly what truly happens. But by maintaining that promise, then comes the encounter with wow, perhaps I can conquer the world by continuing to just use my mind, and this gets way to replicate that. Like it's almost impossible to not see someone acting that same way nowadays. It's impossible to not find someone doing that same thing. And in many ways it also becomes what most people learn to also do. What most of us integrate into our functioning, this I don't wanna say rational. I already mentioned it is something that we have naturalized so much through the culture. It will make no sense to say, yeah, this is absolutely rational. No, unavoidably, simply put, it has to do with the fact that, yeah, we get all of our influences from these places. Therefore, it has to mean that at some point we are also absorbing the idea that I am this world is going to go exactly according to what we imagine, exactly along the lines of what we picture. So much so based simply on what all of us have heard. And that's you the irrational thing would actually be to not follow that same idea. The irrational thing will be to say to try to be a distinct person in terms of yeah, you know what? I have heard enough times that this is how things work. Yet I will choose to not believe in that. And I don't think so. I am quite certainly not, yeah, believing that's not the case at all. And that leads so much to the encounter with, you know what? This is going to be what you're looking for. This is going to be what you are trying to bring forward. Which is almost impossible to actually attain. That's the problem. It is, I will say, yeah, indeed, quite impossible to attain so much of what gets promised in that sense, in that particular sense of yeah, both you and me and anyone can make a reality just work for them like that. Like there is no need. One must not have any regard whatsoever for what actually happens. The world will become exactly what you want, and the world shall therefore align with your vision. And that at that point, it does become quite toxic, because it does become about the whole aspect of yeah, you know what? And you have no limit. You need to have no limits. To the degree to which, at that point, yes, it is. It is exactly about. Ah, you can imagine this world. Therefore, that means that you must for sure be capable of picturing something meaningful enough to the degree to which you can make sure that whatever you picture gets to be reality for yourself and whatnot. And whatever you can imagine gets to actually become what you have always wanted to some degree, no? When that is the problem is, my problem is here. And you don't understand. There are some things that we never understand fully. Like, yeah, you know what? We need to think about time. We need to think a lot about how much will some things take? How much will some stuff actually need to be worked on? Will need to be practiced? Will need to be performed in itself, perhaps even, before it actually leads to the consequences, to the degrees of reality that I am imagining I deserve. I should be seen, and all of that ends up being absolutely worth of being disparaged. The nature of and now here we have it. Here we encounter indeed what we were expecting, when that's not the case. So much of, wow, you actually believe that you're going to encounter in the future what you thought in a handful of minutes. What you one day woke up and said, okay, I want this thing, without any further thoughts. That will truly be what you get out of this world, and that will truly be what you get to earn. And so much of that is, after living enough, discouraging, simply because it is about, oh wow, indeed, you will imagine everything, you will try to make whatever you can, whatever you want come true, as a saying. Then it comes to encounter with the real world, and you see that that's not the case at all. That's not at all the case. Most people don't get to actually complete stuff of that sort. Most people don't actually get to harness something like that. Encounter the world that they imagined. So much of that, unavoidably, has to be based on the imagination of, wow, and this is something utterly fake. I have been thinking about something utterly unachievable, so to speak. I need to be capable of lowering how much I assume that the world is going to exactly give me. I need to lower the degree to which I picture this entire land as something entirely within my control. But that only comes with the process of existing long enough. So much of okay, this is bad. This is absolutely bad. But I have yet to find a different way to think about it. It's like so many of the same practices that at times you find described as the best thing to possibly do for a quote-unquote young mind, in the end up at all not being beneficial. In the end up not at all being something that you would ever want to see a younger mind do. The degree to which I don't think it is a word, but something along the lines of the delusionalism in itself gets treated and gets talked about as something acceptable. It is to be delusional is to be young, basically. When it doesn't need to be the case, it never needed to be the case. But we have learned to let that become normal. Because in the end, it will be harder to actually find normal ways to go through the whole process of let's think about how to achieve what you truly want to begin with anything. The eternal question now of okay, are you setting up achievable goals or are your goals rather utterly impossible to access in themselves, you know? The always existing problem of maybe what you're asking for is not so doable. Maybe what you're asking for is not so attainable. And in the end, we can try to work on what we want, but if what you want has so much of something that will require the entirety of existence to be so different, how much do you think we're going to actually get out of what we do, huh? How much do you think we are going to actually attain in relation to what we get to try, what we get to perform, what we get to no, so much of that whole message. How much do you think you will truly attain by simply performing the same handful of things in a very simple manner? How much do you truly believe what you say that you dreamed about will become true if you don't understand what it truly needs to? What is the necessary component for you to actually achieve what you want? That's part of the message. That's part of the oh wow. You should be a dreamer. In which way? You should be people deserve in their entirety to dream out the world and all of the great things that exist within it. But in which manner, brother? In which manner? In which sense do you actually deserve to think so much about everything? Or in which way should you be concerned about thinking about all the things that this world has to offer to your kind and whatnot, you know? In which way? Because it's easy to say, yeah, you know what, you should not worry at all about what the consequences might be. You need to go big. Not the whole go big or go home, but simply go as big as you can. Create an image that is sufficient enough to actually keep you going, basically. And that's the degree to which you might end up then finally indeed harming yourself. Because so much of it is without grasping what a real limit is, what a humanly achievable degree of hope is, what an acceptable amount of not I wouldn't use I was gonna say something along the lines of performatism, but it's not about that either. It simply is about the whole aspect of and indeed what we're looking for, what we're thinking about, then just become doable, then becomes possible, achievable, basically, purely and simply because it has the quality of aligning with what we know can be gained from trying to do stuff in this world. What we know can be gained from trying to experience what this land has to offer, basically. No? Which most of the time gets ignored. So much of you need to believe in something, but from your very own perspective, you don't need to think about anything else. You have to just believe on whatever it is, and that's fine. And the abandonment for the externalities of this universe, for what all the other things also have to say in accordance to what you want. The whole aspect of, okay, you want something? Let's see how we can work together to make sure that this thing comes through. Let's see. You proposed that the whole. I don't want to get too specific, but something along the lines of. Let's see, based on your proposal, what can be actually done, so that you could perhaps achieve what you want, in a way in which that actually has a lot to do, or a lot of what gets to happen might actually have to do with, okay, and this is indeed the world of the consequences that we were looking for, the world of the, yes, of the things that also had to happen for your goal to in itself also happen. Then, when that happens, when that comes through, when the person gets to actually dream in that, I don't want to say correct way, but a different way, it stops being so much about, oh wow, I want to dream, but I fear being hurt by my own dreams. It stops being such a negative conception of everything. It stops being such a harmful way of picturing the act itself, of imagining stuff, of wanting, of wanting something great, of trying to have something great exist and whatnot. Because so much of it at some point becomes the simple act of maybe we can't ever really attain what we're looking for. Maybe we can't really attain what we are trying to. Maybe we can't ever harness anything of that sort, or be capable of at all reaching what we so much wanted. Maybe it's better for us to simply accept the nature of, and indeed there is no point here for us to dream. Dreaming is meaningless. It is not meaningless. It is perhaps one of the most essential aspects of life, but to do so in a correct manner, in a non-hurtful way. That's, let's say like that. To do it in a way in which you don't the eternal point, you don't give up, man, you know? You don't say tomorrow, this is it. This is all that there will be about this. There is nothing else that we can try to do about this. It might be far better for us to simply abandon this task, for us to simply resign ourselves to the outcome that has already become obviously present to us. And there is nothing else to try, there is nothing else to go for, there is nothing else to hope for, basically. This is all that there will be, and to think about what could be beyond that is meaningless. And the nature of that, permitting so much of what we encounter in life, is unavoidably bad. I want to say something along the lines of, yeah, it's hard to be capable of finishing what you start. I hate whenever I hear somebody say, oh no, yeah, you know what, I am quite making it sound like such an special attribute. Not even in a good light. Most people understand that it is absolutely bad to do it consistently enough. The whole, yeah, I have a tendency towards not finishing what I start. But it has always to do a lot with how are we voicing the idea of, okay, this is something that I should try to finish, this is something that I should try to make sure happens, this is something that I should believe in, and that I should make sure gets to truly be what I experience in the end, gets to truly be what I harness after so many days or hours of trial and effort, you know? And so much of that association ends up being absolutely negative, because it seems it sounds like you can never have a healthy attachment, a healthy relation with the act of dreaming. It's necessary to stop dreaming to grow up into a proper person. That's the point of this question, analysis, message, whatever. When it doesn't truly need to be the case, it's just about finding a self-destructive, harmful way of attaching to the idea of doing that. It's absolutely possible to do it, quote unquote, properly, yet so much of it is out, yeah, you know what? You will destroy yourself unavoidably, irrevocably. There is no way to go about that but to harm yourself. And that's so strange. So much of it is extremely weird in its very conception, basically. In the very way in which you had to listen other people talk about it and such. There is never a good way in which you can try stuff. There is never a good way in which you can aspire. And it's that instilled negativity that once again, it's also not just about the negativity. I do have the sensation that huge portion of it has a lot to do with this is also what we have normalized ourselves. This is what we have acted like is fine to always go for. This is what we have talked about as being the good thing to have happen. This is the correct thing to make come true. You cannot really talk about having a dream, having a hope, having a goal, having anything of that sort without including the idea of self-destruction always. And that permeates most of what we see. And now, a proper way of thinking about that, of associating with that idea, has almost become completely eliminated. And there is no more dreaming within the life of the normal person, because in the end, it also is the aspect, no, of, and now you understand, you have become aware enough to see, to grasp that, and indeed, you're trying to grow up. You have to give up on dreaming at all. There is no point in dreaming about anything. Why would you do that, dreaming with anything, no? Why would you try to do that? Why would you at all worry? I was being realistic. Why would you at all try to have an understandable assumption about what could happen, about what could be the case, about what could somehow get to come true? You should never do something like that, no? And it is normalized to the degree to which nowadays it seems the only possible pathway towards. And yeah, you're indeed going to find yourself harmed, because there is no other way of going about that. And I don't know. It's just a strange world, man. An absolutely strange world to live in sometimes. So much of this is always weird to look at, I guess. Weird to think out, I guess. Uncomfortable to have in mind, I guess. But it is our world in the end, so what can be done about that? No? What can be at all done about this? What is there to worry about here? When in the end it's always so, I don't wanna say dramatic, it's just that the naturalization of so many stunningly unnatural things, you know? So many harmful. You could call them unavoidable practices, you could call them unavoidable methods. You could always say that they are what we have normalized into our behavior, into our way of going about life. But it's almost all that we understand nowadays. Can you truly expect us to change that much, you know? Like, truly, you expect that to happen. You believe that that's going to occur. That we're going to find a way to not have that exist anymore. I don't really know. Sometimes this world is also having those strange things happen. Yet it's like the difficulties themselves are almost not I don't wanna say impossible to survive or to go through, but simply hard enough to actually navigate without struggling unnecessarily, basically. To the degree to which it is guaranteed for anyone who tries to have a bad time. Because there is never a way to actually know how to solve it. So much of life is also about you have to find your own way. And this is still the same thing too, like you cannot really rely on anything. The whole I don't think it is bad, okay, no. My conclusion is not that it is bad to possess a dream of your own, but the whole prospect of and whatever you dream about will be your own thing, to the degree to which you will also realize that now you are capable of possessing something that might not really give you what you are looking for. You might possess something that might not really offer you what you were expecting. But I don't know, man. I don't really think that it always has to be only or yeah, the association is always represented only as a negative. There is no way to do anything like that without being harmed. There is no way of doing this thing in itself without finding yourself in some way affected negatively by the act of choosing. Or that's the representation that we get accustomed to, basically. That's the notion that we say is fine to have. That is the way of operating that we have taken as normal, simply put. When it doesn't have to be the case. It never had to be the case to begin with. But so much now has simply become that in the end, it's always surprising to see, wow, I am trying to have my piece of happiness, but that is in the end almost entirely negated from me. There is no way in which we can acceptably attain that without in the process abandoning so much of what made the person truly happy in the first place, so to speak. Along the lines of, you can only be happy as long as you can abandon all that made you actually happy. You can only fail within the boundaries of what we have designed as good to make you happy, basically. Everything else will never guarantee you any true happiness. Like, satisfaction is only found in that act which others call capable of granting happiness, you know? And satisfaction is only found in the act of performing that same thing in the way in which others can describe it as well. And that is unavoidably strange, unequivocally weird. So much of it being only about that. But I don't know. I think my message always tries to be. I don't think it needs to be the only accepted way. I don't think it needs to be the only normal method. It never has to. It never needed to. But, I don't know. After having lost so much of what made us at all happy, it's really understandable to say now you also have to find again a way to go about this thing by yourself without ever encountering any problem. That's sort of unrealistic, sort of impossible to actually have happen, sadly. Not because people can't, but simply because, once again, we're already tired by the point of us trying to believe in that thing, so to speak, by the point of us trying to make it look like indeed we can achieve this thing ourselves. We can make that happen now too. I don't know, man. So much of growing up is also about, I guess you can say, understanding what your actual potential is. But the process of getting to that is something that seems to be still. If attaining happiness is complicated, the process of actually attaining a satisfactory degree of understanding about how to be what you want to truly be becomes even harder. The process of attaining happiness is the normalized act of, for most people at the very least, making it look like you will always find only that handful of answers to the questions that you can pose in an incredibly simplistic way without any other explanation after giving up on those more honest to your own self desires and ways of thinking about it that you might always have wanted to make come true when that doesn't need to be the case. But the normalized thing is that, yeah, happiness is only attainable with that, through that, and because of that, so to speak, even. But I don't know. It is still an enigmatic world, most, if not all the time, so it's fine to be surprised by so many of the things that we do, I guess, so many of the things that we have happen around us. So much of a wonder, so much of an astoundingly unexplainable land with so many things that seem to not make any sense at all. Something about so much progress, and despite that, still being surrounded by unexplainable things, incomprehensible aspects to the nature of ourselves, not to the internal nature of the singular person, but rather to the nature of how we all have accepted it's fine to behave, how we all have assumed it's okay to go out being, go out trying, go out everything, while all of it is so still absurd. Not like it comes a point in which things stop being absurd, but rather that very thin desire to make a more coherent, a more logical construction about this world, which has always been dominant. I don't know. I cannot really say that I agree with, oh no, yeah, it is only nowadays that we talk about that. Even if you talk about older times in which something like the representation of God was present, even if you talk about the times in which all that we had was this notion of of a higher being controlling us. Even then, there were strict ways of thinking out of stuff. It's not like, oh wow, truly now, just in the last decade or in the last century, has the human started to truly have something that was unique to itself, something that was entirely logical, like nothing else. There is always a structure behind all the madness of this world, but it is hard to see it as such. When no way am I going to die 3 times in a row here? Okay, I am not. I almost scratched out actually. There we go. Now, the issue is, for me to perform these 25 tricks, I don't know how to do that. I will actually need to pull up a guide, so give me a second. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30? Ah, no, wait. There are not. There are 30 tricks in total. Okay, okay. Understandable. Understandable. Okay, I see. I see. So it's possible to do it. I think so. I think so. It shouldn't be that hard. Shouldn't be that hard, quote unquote. Now we will actually see like how truly hard it is. Anyways, it is doable enough. I remember actually the first time I actually tried this part of the game before, I had such a hard time because it is incredibly hard to truly do it. There are so many combinations that make it not exactly impossible to find all of them out, but rather complicated to be capable of understanding how to how to truly go about it. But it's fine. We can do it. I believe. It's just about believing in the process, I guess. I don't know, something literally what I was saying extrapolated to the, what the fuck? To the process of playing games like this too. Sometimes it's about having enough patience. And I don't know, okay, yes. It's exactly what I was trying to mention, actually. The whole aspect of... And it's so hard. It's so difficult. One of the things that I did try to mention was the whole aspect of... I don't know, my man. I have no clue how to sometimes go about the notion of I can realistically enough create a picture of what should happen in my mind, basically. I have no clue if I really can. Sometimes I feel like it's almost impossible to do that. It's almost unachievable to create an image that I can follow easily now about goals, about dreams, about whatever. There is such a primacy for an easy explanation, an easy solution out, a way simpler mode of thinking out whatever, to the degree to which, in the end, I want to say all, yeah, no, most conclusions that we reach are that, oh wow, it's so hard to actually do. anything of this sort. It's so hard to actually attain anything of this kind when it truly isn't. In most cases, it truly isn't. But the normalization of that weirdness makes it so that, yeah, everything that you encounter is strange. Everything that you do is so abstract and so unexplainable and so absurd even, when that doesn't have to be the case. That isn't, to begin with anything, that isn't the case at all. You know? That never is the case at all. But it's simpler to act like it is. It's faster to fall in line in conformity with, yes. So much of this is absurd. We live in a completely absurd world, basically. And there is nothing to actually do about that. There is nothing to try to change when it comes to, okay, this is all that we have. It's almost as if we could never think about the simpler things, the more common stuff. It all can only be strange, and it's a different sentiment. I'm not talking about that same sentiment of derangement, like I do not understand where I find myself at, rather the capacity to never acknowledge that most of what we go through is still so strange. The actual sense of, wow, so much of what we have nowadays even is so weird in its very own way. So much of it is always so filled to the brim with those unexplainable aspects, with those absolutely ununderstandable degrees of abstraction to them. So much of life is always absurd. So much of it has to always be, almost. Or that's the sensation that it has, at least. Not like it truly has to, but it seems to be the case. Like, most of it will always just be like that, without nothing else to make out of it, basically. And I don't know. I don't truly think that it is healthy to think about it like that, but that's how we have gotten accustomed to living. That's how we have gotten accustomed to seeing the world. Can we truly grow up out of that? Also, buena peje. Muy buena. ¿Al Albion? No. No, no. No. No voy a abrir esa cosa. Me voy a mantener sano y salvo. Me gusta, pero algo respecto a evitar el crack que son esos juegos, supongo. O sea, no. Vamos a hacerlo así. Supongo que algún día inevitablemente lo voy a hacer, pero corte totalmente casual. En ese sentido, no creo poder volver a ser una persona que de verdad... ¿Eh? Sí. Pero no es lo mismo, no es lo mismo. No es lo mismo. No es para nada lo mismo. Uno es totalmente single player. El otro es ese factor de, no, sí, porque hay que dedicarle tanto tiempo. Nunca es lo mismo, nunca es lo mismo. Es como que, no sé. Entendería la comparación como algo con el LOL, pero Puede pasar. Pero sí. ¿Qué sé yo? He estado pensando. ah, no es que nunca quisiera hacerlo, simplemente he estado pensando. Ah, increíble. Qué buen videojuego. No sé, saludo a Sombra, supongo. Y es que seguirá existiendo. Sí que no me pregunta. Ah, pero está bien. No pasa nada, no pasa nada. ¿Está muerto? Increíble. Son increíbles. Ah, y vale, supongo que es la naturaleza de la mayoría de esos planes, básicamente. Creo random, entendible. Sigue siendo un juego igual de tóxico. Qué hermosura. Qué hermosura. Nunca para de impresionarme. No es una impresión. La tristeza de saber que sigue siendo lo mismo. Qué videojuego. Qué videojuego. Sí, como todo, realmente. Yo creo que podría ser una experiencia mucho más, no sé, amigable, por así decirlo, pero hay realmente gente dispuesta en permitir que eso pase en el sentido de, ok, no sé, lo típico de la zona negra que no sea tan rotundamente imposible de explorar por el simple hecho de que, bueno, en esta zona es competitivo, por ende, o el que entra acá se va a morir. Cosas de ese estilo son preguntas eternas, en el sentido de, podría no ser tan... Eh, sí, pero la esencia sigue siendo la misma. Sigue siendo en esencia, lo mismo. Pasa que, qué sé yo. Me acuerdo, por ejemplo, que sí, zona roja siempre fue una cosa, pero nunca fue totalmente horrible de navegar. Ah, dragones, interesante, pero no. Pasa que completo una sola cosa, soy increíble. Ah, hay mucho, hay mucho que he visto que nadie me ha ido. No es que nunca me he leído los parches, me ha gustado. Sí, sí. ¿Qué eran puños? No sé si más bastones o un tipo diferente de bastones. Hay un montón de cosas. Pero es una experiencia y ah, es una paja, es mucho trabajo. Igual probablemente tenga alguien que sea alguna cosa valiosa en algún lugar. Pero ya, en el futuro me definiré, supongo. Verdaderamente diré, sí, lo voy a hacer. Por ahora sigue siendo una consideración distante, supongo. What the fuck? ¿Tanto? ¿Cómo? Un montón. La inflación. Un día más de inflación. Mi favorito. Ah, ¿cómo tanto? ¿Cómo pueden, cómo pudo la gente decir, no, sí, esto está bien? Esto es lo correcto. No hay problema que suba. Mm. es inevitable igualmente, pero menos sigue vivo, como para que esté tan caro, supongo. Supongo. Ah, pero has ido creciendo, peje, como persona, has aprendido inglés, hijo de la perra. Ah, como 17 billones. Qué raro. Tan número 75. Increíble. ¿Sí? Clave. Entonces, ¿sabéis inglés? ¿Te acabas de escucharme en inglés o no, cabeza? ¿Eh? Clave, clave. Finalmente progresaste, ¿eh? O sea, adquiriste esa habilidad, mejor dicho, pues. Al final del día sigue siendo a día de hoy algo no normalizado de aprender, así que muy bueno, muy bueno, muy bueno. Ah, pero sí, algún día. Mi única respuesta a eso es algún día. Algún día pasará. ¿De titularte? Muy bueno, muy bueno. ¿Los semestres? O sea, este año, supongo. O sea, no. Muy buena pregunta. A finales de año. Algo me dice que no voy a conseguir los puntos. Ujú, ujú. Bien. Y bueno, sí, la verdad que por mi parte sigo intentando aprender, pero... Ah, bueno, no, realmente no estaba en la facultad y que universidad en el momento en el que nos conocimos, pero hoy en día sí, y hoy en día estoy en eso. Eso es otro, la verdad que otro motivo por el cual el jugar a cualquier MMO me resultaría medio imposible. Soy una persona que muy fácilmente se vuelve adicta a ese tipo de cosas, entonces, y por eso también intento limitarme, como quien diría, el temor de, no sé, quedar ahí, sí, sí, haciendo lo que sería una licenciatura, la llamamos acá, en otros lados lo llaman el máster, la maestría, He visto que hasta incluso, o sea, al mismo título se lo pueden llegar a denominar ¿cómo es? El grado y posgrado de psicología. De eso, psicología, psicología. Pero está buscando cómo definirlo bien. Cuidado que nunca más lo puedo terminar. Pero sí, eso, por eso, lo que decía. Es. No es que sea un compromiso, al final del día todo es un compromiso, pero. No digas eso, concha, tu madre. No digas eso. O sea, sí, no, al final del día sí. Hay cada vez gente con más situaciones de todo tipo. Y qué sé yo, el prospecto de algo maravilloso que pasa cuando hablas de eso con la mayoría de la cultura más, entre mil comillas, metida en la tecnología, simple y llanamente todo lo que se viene con las IA y demás, y todo la panorama que también eso va a traer, en el sentido de, wow, esto van a ser también problemas, esto van a ser también situaciones que generan todavía más problemas a nivel psicológico. El, el típico que se hace un chatbot y se craftea una novia de esa manera, por ejemplo. Pero sí, hay. O sea, pasa que realmente, no sé, supongo que sería imposible un mundo sin el problema psicológico en sí. Pero es como que nos preocupemos tanto al final del día. Sí, no, sí, no, sí, no. La realidad es, o sea, por lo poco que llego a entender, se supone que llega a ser un reemplazo en cuanto tanto a la tarea más básica, o sea, la persona que no tiene verdadera idea de generación actual de algo útil. O sea, hacer algo único en sí, tipo, que te pidan un trabajo específico. Quien no tenga idea de eso, sí, pierde el trabajo, pero incluso a día de hoy, o incluso de acá al futuro, de acá a los siguientes 20 años, sigue sin ser factible que la IA llegue a ser un reemplazo total para quien verdaderamente sabe programar, quien verdaderamente sabe hacer su trabajo de manera eficiente, quien es un buen programador. Esa persona no está en riesgo. El que está en riesgo es el trabajador con la menor categoría, por así decirlo, o de la menor talla. Pero sí, sí. No, o sea, no deja de ser un problema. Pero así son las cosas. Odio este videojuego, puta madre. Pero sí, es un tema. Un montón. No creo, o sea, no sé qué. Sería difícil realmente, supongo yo que realmente se dé en posiciones de ese estilo el reemplazo de los trabajadores, supongo. Pasa que, de manera, ok, de manera idealista lo que se supone es que no tendría que suceder. De manera realista lo que pasa es que muchas veces, simple y llanamente por la promesa de ahorro, sucede, aunque no esté verdaderamente preparada la tecnología como para esos puestos, esas posiciones, esas responsabilidades. Es, es una situación. Igual, o sea, pasa que también por otro lado, específicamente con el hecho de quién es de España, por lo poco que llego a entender de la situación social en ese país, parece ser que tampoco es. Hoy en día ya dejó de ser tan primer mundista como quien lo clasificaría. Entonces, llega a tener su poco de sentido. Llega a tener su poco de sentido de. Increíblemente pasa. Pasa que los ves por todos lados. Una regreso a lo que sería considerado, no sé, más. Ni siquiera sé cómo definirlo. Más rentable, más accesible, lo que sea. Lo que sea. Pero sí, sí. He escuchado un montón de gente de eso. O sea, no es que he escuchado, he visto. En mi ciudad también hay un montón. Pero puede pasar. Y no, bueno. Esa es la realidad en muchos lugares, realmente. O sea, la infraestructura, vamos a decirlo así. En el momento en el que uno empieza a entender de los lugares donde se maneja, se llega a dar cuenta que hay muchas situaciones que son bastante precarias. En cualquier ámbito, como persona, o sea, yo como estudiante de psicología empecé a entender, realmente hay un montón de trabajo que no estamos haciendo tampoco. O sea, no es que, wow, increíble. Hay avance, hay implementaciones beneficiosas, pero a lo que tenemos acceso la mayoría es precario de manera preocupante. Sí, sí. No, bueno, pero o sea, como quien diría, para la persona que es entendida es todavía más evidente. Ujú, ujú. Mm, qué sé yo, también pasa, por ejemplo, el típico truco del, ¿cómo es? F12 sigue siendo igual de válido que hace una cantidad de años. El, acá en Argentina, por ejemplo, hace poco encontraron a un sujeto que cayó por eso mismo de, vos estás abusando de ese sistema. El de editar página, editar el texto de la página con F12. Con el, ¿cómo sería? Analizar extensión, no me acuerdo cómo se llama bien. Analizar el código fuente o el código base. Hay, hay cosas que son extremadamente básicas que deberían haber sido solucionadas hace un montón, pero mucho trabajo, supongo. Ni idea. Pero sí, sí. Entiendo, entiendo. Ok. Anyway, Peje, I guess you say you can actually speak English. Can you actually understand me then? Like, or are you doomed to not understand me when I actually speak on English, man? Okay, okay, okay. Then no problem, no problem. Because entiendo, I guess yeah. I know something about not. Is it a preference? I don't think it is that much of a preference. It's simply that it is what I do, always in English, but more about the act of, yeah, I can understand you, you can understand me, we can work like this, so no problem. Yeah, it's fine, it's all fine. But I was trying to say, anyways, that, and I don't know, it's still strange when you take into consideration stuff like how, wow, so much of the things that support the systems that we utilize nowadays still being so absolutely outdated and so absolutely simplistic in nature. So much of the world that sustains us being based on extremely old stuff. That is also crazy in terms of this actually happens. We have so many things that are decades old that should have been actually worked on, that should have actually been actualized in terms of update and whatnot. Yet they haven't. But it's fine, to some extent it's fine. It's not like we're going to die simply because, I don't know. A good example would be something along the lines of, for example, here we have the whole, what is it? The whole system for keeping your national identity basically secured and whatnot, and that is the same system that we have been utilizing for the past 70 years or so. There have been some minor updates, but in the grand scheme of it remains the same thing. And that is not planned to actually be changed. And it's crazy to see how stuff like that is normal to some extent. Not like it should not be normal, but this is strange to see it be. But yeah, It's partially about just letting them do whatever they want in the end. As long as you can actually survive without any problem yourself, it's fine that those things remain mostly absolutely weird as they are. But yeah, it's fine. In the end, it's whatever. Kill myself. Amazing.
Sorry, mate. Can't stand to come in second.
But anyways, I haven't stuck here for the last... I have no clue how long at this point. Half an hour? Is it realistic to say half an hour? Probably. That's... To some extent it's depressing, man. I hate this level so much. I chose the worst possible level. The worst possible way to play it. But it's fine, I guess. It's not the end of the world, so... It's whatever it gets to be. I kill myself again. Oh. Che perché? Tengo una buena noche, mi rey. Che cazzo? Mi princesa. No, perdón. También es tremendo. Increíble. No. Ah. Pasame el link, supongo, sí, ¿eh? What the fuck? ¿Tanto? O sea, como jugadora. ¿Qué onda? Un montón, peje un montón. Ok. Muchas gracias. Ah. Muchas gracias. Pero no, como te decía, que descanse bien, peje. Gracias por pasarte como vendría. ¿Cómo que igual, concha de tu madre? Que descanse, yo también, sí, perdón. 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 Como quien diría, cuesta que suene el agua al tanque, perdón. No. Ah. Fue sin querer. Bueno. A ver si puedo ganar esta porquería. Anyways. What a world. I don't know. I was somewhere. I should actually try to remember where I was in terms of what I was trying to say. Because it was... No! Amazing. I'm not going to win back this. Can happen. We are going to be stuck here for the longest time. I don't even know when I started, but this is mental torture. I hate playing this level anytime whatsoever. I absolutely find it horrible. I did it because I didn't realize what I chose. But something about not escaping your destiny, not escaping what you choose. Even if it is a mistake, sometimes it is useful to be capable of committing to whatever you end up choosing. So in this case, we'll try to win. Even if it takes me 20,000 tries. And even if we finish the stream at like 5 in the morning for me. Still one single accomplishment, oh my god. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to have a mental breakdown if I continue without a stop. Yeah, give me a second. Give me a second. I need to go breathe some fresh air before I fucking rage quit. So yeah. Also, the game has no music when it is on that menu. Let me try again. There we go. Can you... There is no visual way to... Ah, wait. If I pause. No. When you, when you pause, it also has no audio. Amazing. Can I let it? Okay, there, sitting there. You have background music there. Yeah, give me a minute or two, something.
Sorry, mate. Can't stand to come in second. I won't even have to pay off the judges at this rate, will I? Don't pretend you can ride. Don't ever race against me. Let me provide you chaps with a free lesson. I'm taking you to school, mate.
The question is, how much is it going to actually take to finish this? What a beautiful question. It shouldn't really be that hard, like... 25,000 trick points is 5 good tricks. 8,000 trick combo points is one single trick, so that also shouldn't be hard. There is nothing inherently impossible, so to speak, like... Oh no, nothing that you cannot at all accomplish, you know?
Can you still see me then?
Okay, this is it. 8,000, good. Next is the 25,000 basically.
Is this as high as I can go? I don't think
Yeah.
so. Cosmic kickstart.
I keep doing the same thing and I keep failing it. Every time I am amazing. We are going to be
Look at me.
way too long stuck here. Simply because I cannot vary what I do. Can happen. Something about the realization of the situation which keeps you stuck and keeps you in the exact same place as you have always been. The impossibility of actually changing your habits, stopping. What the fuck? Excuse me? What's... What? What? Amazing. Amazing. I didn't know that at all. What a map making adventure. Wow. Also, here? What are these slopes? What a map. Ah, what a wonderfulness of a plant. Ah, beautiful. water. We still have, yeah, we still have like, how much? A handful of places to go to. We can actually capable of accomplishing the 25,000 goal too.
Bustin' big ass.
We will see. At some point it will work out. But we will be freed from this. It. I think that's this. I remember when I did it before. It took me like perhaps 5 hours to actually accomplish. And this time we're already on the final area, so whether it won't be that hard. But the whole process of remembering what it was last time brings me enough anguish basically to be like, oh, well, we perhaps won't actually make it in done. Perhaps this is yet another case of me being stuck here for way too long. The whole aspect of what I'm trying to actually mention, the whole aspect of the memories that never leave your side, the stuff that you know will always accompany you. The things that there we go. Okay, 3 things done. How much more do I actually have to do? 32 unique tricks and 2 crashes or better.
Don't pretend you can ride.
No, wait. It will be like that's one. No. Okay.
I don't have all day. Don't ever race against me.
This is going to take way too long to actually do well. We are going to be stuck here for too fucking long, but it's good, it's good, it's good. Slowly doing it is better than not doing it at all. Something like that. Tell myself as I keep on failing. Also, is it? Yeah, that's also can do literally like side flips. I never do them. Mostly because I don't like them.
Well, I'm a natural, aren't I?
Yeah, they are horrible.
Cool, mate.
So do they like wait here? Spin left? 14. Okay. How many more until I actually get to 32?
Can you still see me then?
That has to be a handful, no? Like, how many? Let me see. 16. Good. Why don't I actually finish first? Yeah. At some point, we're gonna be done, and it will have been so worth it. But right now, it's just sunken cost fallacy situation. Okay, this is it. "32 unique tricks. That's actually the only complicated thing to accomplish, like. That's one. That's two, right? Right? Yeah, that's two, okay. Next is the sums, basically. And I failed that. I am amazing. You know what? You know what? Let me restart. Sometimes it's better to just try again. Something about not making yourself suffer over and over endlessly unnecessarily when it once again it isn't necessary. Doesn't have to happen. Like I don't have to torture myself in order to accomplish what I want. If it happens naturally, it will happen. And if it doesn't happen naturally, then maybe it's better to try than to go through the whole effort of, yeah, you know what, we shall make it look like it's... That's a handful of them. How many now? 12. Good.
I won't even have to pay up the judges at this rate, will I?
It's going to be such a situation. Wait. Go ahead, go over here. There we go. I didn't land that. I am amazing. How much more do we have? We have 2/3 of the track to go. How many more tricks do we have to do? Still like 20 something. Amazing.
Well, I'm a natural, aren't I? Don't pretend you can ride. Can you still see me then?
Maybe free, man. Give me some kind of hack or something that lets me do it easily. Don't make me memorize 64 movements? Really? You're expecting me to memorize 64 movements? Know which one of them I have done? I haven't? God knows how many I have done, how many I haven't done. That's okay. How many? 21. Still having like half of them up to do. Oh, yeah. No, this is it. Maybe I have to believe it. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck here for eternity. Sometimes you have to fail a little bit before you actually get to accomplish what you're looking for, no? About the human nature and the usefulness of your efforts. You don't get the moment in which you want everything, otherwise it's not meaningful enough. You have to be capable of doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over until you can finally get it. And this is that same thing. Okay, that's one. Now what?
I'm taking you to school, mate.
How many more do I have? 23. Good. I need to do? How do I do them, brother? Hate this one. Just the worst way to play it. I was thinking about something actually chill. I have to choose, albeit unconsciously, something out the confrontation with that which troubled you so much. And in this case, I guess, you can even say, it's not even all that difficult. The biggest difficulty is recognizing that there is no difficulty at all. But nature is stronger sometimes. Okay, here comes the best part for start. Trick list. 24. Only one new trick. Amazing. Here comes the best part. Time to rank the exact same area until I can finally win. Because that part is the only one with enough jump, so that's how we're gonna solve this map. No simple way around it. It will be necessary to cheese the run, otherwise I will not complete this in time. It will be whatever, but sometimes something about not needing to be that conscious about how, oh wow, is this the exact right way to go about getting all the stuff done? Maybe.
My grace is astounding.
Okay, how much is that? None new. Are there 64 more combinations, man? Is the problem? I guess the problem is I need to super them or something like that, probably. And I am not doing that, I guess? Who knows what's the actual problem? Like, that's something that I despise of this game entirely. The nature of, you will never know why you're failing, actually. You should know that you are. Okay, I did 2 super styles. Question is, do they count? One of them did count. What changed? What? The super style, I guess. It's going to be whatever. Also, that poor ship got absolutely killed. It's fine. There we go, the ship. Amazing.
Don't ever race against me.
It's fine. If it needs to take this long, it will take this long. Can you let me up? Okay. Next is this thing. Or here we have yet again the same fucking example as before. Okay. One more? One more, good. So yeah, the point is to also super style them. Understandable. Do I even have enough time for some of those animations? And also I need to do like 10 more of those. Do I even remember that many to begin with? Like, we will see. I'm pretty sure I don't remember that many combinations, but
Well, I'm a natural, aren't I?
okay. One more, probably 2 more. 2 more, good enough. How many to go? 7 to go. At this point, yeah, no, there is no other scores. I am simply focused on trying to finish this. Otherwise, I don't want to spend here 7 hours. I already did it once, I already understood the problem once.
Watch and learn.
Shut up, man. Don't watch and learn anything, just do your resolve. And let me finalize this level properly.
Can you still see me then?
There we go. That's one. And the next one is that one? Yeah, that's 2 actually. What? Amazing! How did I not do that before? Okay, so we only have 5 more to go. Beautiful. I think I have one in mind. I actually have 2 in mind.
Can't stand to come in second.
No! Okay, didn't kill myself, so we are good. One. Only one. Okay, 4 to go. Simply 4 more tricks to do. That's all that I need. That's all that I want. That's all that matters? I don't think so. Can we please, for the love of God, finish in time? Give me... Also, like, quick question. Backflip? I did no front flip, basically. How did I didn't know front flip? How? Spin left, spin right. I didn't know front flip. I am amazing. So...
Me! I won't even have to pay off the judges at this rate.
I... Can happen. Can happen. Can absolutely happen. It's fine. It's part of the experience, don't you think?
Don't pretend you can ride.
Thank you so much for that insult, man. Why did you have to insult me? Oh no, yeah, but the character is talking to the non-existent other players. Something. Stop lying. It was talking to me. Okay. 32? It was only 32? Amazing! Okay. Easiest challenge ahead. Shut up, man. Stop crying. You have to break some bones to actually win this thing, so... Okay. We're almost there. This is the worst possible kind. Next time I will actually remember to not do this race at all. Free ride course is the worst course of them all. Is it actually bad? No, it simply asks you to be a good player, and the issue is, that's when I realized that I am not a good player. When the world expects great things out of you, and you have to actually deal with the reality of you not being that great, things crumble far more rapidly than what you could ever expect. Okay, here we go. There is the last and the easiest of them all to some extent, that is, do not die more than 2 times. Can I actually do that? Depends. Should we do but in the end, the actually hardest one was actually done, so I already died once. I'm amazing. I only have one death left to go. I didn't die there, amazing. I was gonna say I died there, I have to restart, but I didn't, so good. You can ride also, like, absolutely safe, but does it actually make it fun? Sometimes fun is next to the riskiest thing that you can do. Sometimes fun lies in breaking some bones, actually. The funniest thing is not the most enjoyable thing. Or what?
Serious hang time.
No. Don't. Does that count? Does that count as a death? No. I don't know. I will not risk that. Probably it does so. But I'm amazing. Why did I have to go so fast? Why did I need to go so... There was nothing pressuring me to go that fast. Yeah. Sometimes there is no problem. The only problem existent is the person itself and the way in which you like to do things. The traditions that you carry with yourself, the things that you're accustomed to doing, the things that you believe are fine to do, and the things that you have ingrained in your own personality, ways of being, ways of acting, ways of existing in this world. The very way in which you go about existence is the very same thing that sometimes troubles you so much, that brings so many of the situations that you later called problematic and absolutely negative for yourself. That's where most of that lies in, and that's where most of all of these very same conditions originate. Well, it is complicated to say that because in the end, oh no, truly I am problematic for my own self. How could that ever be? Aren't I the person who's in charge of my own existence? How can I be problematic at all? It's literally about going slowly now. Can I do that? I can. Can I mentally accept doing that? Oh no, you're going to risk so much if you go slowly. It's going to be so bad. If you, instead of rushing ahead, simply take your time to make sure that you don't kill yourself while descending. Wow, what a risky thing to do, you know? What a hard thing to actually accomplish. The desire to not make things even harder is impressive. But it's fun, we can accomplish this. Can we? Yes. Also, there was another broken texture over there, as you saw it. But I'm not going to go back. That's probably risky here. Also, I actually know this area more. So yeah. Can you, oh my god. I have only one death, that's the issue. What happened was that I forgot how to... I thought I didn't survive that landing, but I did, so amazing. One more area to go. I mean, we still have this part, but this is like the easiest part. So... it will be incredibly fun if I actually die. Also, wait. Objectives. With true or crashes or better, so I actually still have one crash on me. Like, I can still die one more time, supposedly. I should not crash at all, but watch me lose focus at some point, and then ending up in a completely idiotic crash. That is totally unnecessary, but oh my god. Okay, that's good. This is doable. Can win this. Tensing up every single muscle of my being, every single cell of my brain working in order to accomplish one thing. For that one singular time in which I wanted something with truly all my heart. Because in the end the point was that as long as you were capable of desiring something strongly enough, you were capable of accomplishing it. The problem was actually committing to what you wanted, knowing that what you wanted was doable. Otherwise, we could have said, no, yeah, you know what? This is impossible. There is no way to make this happen. This is it. There is nothing to actually go for. So I chose literally the worst part to go for. But it's fine. You can do it like this. It is like going in a normal bike, basically. It's a speed. I don't know, probably them. Ah, it's miles per hour. I just realized. It took me probably like 30 hours of playing this game to realize that it is miles per hour, not kilometers per hour. I was like, wow, this is not really that fast. Why does it say such a high number? Because it is something entirely else. Welcome pizza. It says getting up, setting up, internet testing, BRB. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you even mean? You are trolling me. Shh. You didn't see that. You didn't see that, pizza. You didn't see that. I am literally about to finish, to end the race. Shh. I finished with 2 crashes or better. It's amazing. I won. And nobody saw that. Did I actually win? Indeed. It only took me less than an hour, actually. Beautiful, beautiful. I hate this game. Sorry. Does it take? No. The problem is, it takes 50 minutes to complete the mode that I just went for. That's the problem. There is a particular mode that is unnecessarily complicated, which is like a checklist of you have to do every single mechanic that the game has to offer, basically. And that's the problem. I don't know every single mechanic, so I fumbled like a handful of times before I can actually do it. That's why it takes 50 minutes in my case. I was actually, particularly in the last level, I was stuck like half an hour of which the last, I don't know, 10 minutes were with that VRV screen because I forgot to change screen, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter at all. The point is that it's done. I am not going to do that again. I'm never in my life going to touch that mode again. But there we go. That's the unlock for winning. Watch. You wanna see how much does it actually take to win a proper race? Let me... Single event? No. We can do a specialized career like a... Free ride, I think, is the normal one. Technical. Free ride, I think. Yeah. Bikes. What's up with you? This is the best bike, so give me this by color. I cannot change the color, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Watch this, what's this? It is 7 levels. And the funny thing is, once again, now that there is no imposition, the levels don't take as long. There are other people, oh no, it's so complicated, doesn't matter at all. Literally has no importance whatsoever on the actual performance. It's 10 times easier now. Beautiful. Where did I get it? I always have like a bike myself, so I unavoidably don't even do mountain bike. I don't have a bike like that. What happened? What happened? What a great question. I wonder what happened. No, I bricked the fucking bull. Slash, I unavoidably I hit my ceiling off. I need to farm, and I am mentally trying to avoid the acceptance of needing to farm in itself. So I have been playing other stuff here, and I haven't really even opened the game to farm. It came to a point in which I need to farm like 20 divines. I have no clue how to actually fix it. Besides the easy answer of, I get a mage flood and it's solved. You can catch up? Yeah, you have like, I guess, 1 or 2 weeks probably. Also, it's not like I did every single thing actually. I have still also some maps, but indeed, I played the game for like 2 weeks straight. So, to some extent, I did burn out. But it is such a fun game. It's unavoidable to not play that much, at least for me. Also, this game it is a racing game, but it has something incredibly funny. This game doesn't have a rubber banding at all, so you don't have to see where the other competitors are. This thing that says 1/10 is the placements, and I will only keep getting further from the rest of the green dots, which are the rest of the competitors. It's an amazing game. But anyways, I was saying, yeah, it's 10 times simpler. Once you don't really have a challenge to complete or anything like that, it's much faster. But yeah, also to your question, I always did Viking, so what the fuck? I didn't know how to bike like 3 years ago, so no, I didn't always do bike. Since I got a bike, I started to appreciate the stuff of this sort a little bit more, and this was one of those games that I played before that, and it stuck with me. I grew fond of these memories. Even if I don't really have like any particular memory of, oh yeah, when I played this with my brother or with my father or anything like that. It's just that in itself it also has quite a good handful of controls. Sadly, I hope it has something to do with my holy with my lack of exposition to the medium, but I'm pretty sure there are not that many more games like this, because this game has the whole doing tricks mechanic. There are like 64 available tricks. I have not seen any other racing game particularly which has that same amount of tricks. I guess, okay, yeah, the only handful of games that I have to assume, okay, there's 3 minutes and 47 seconds, that's how long it actually takes to finish a race. But anyways, I was saying, another one of the things that I believe happens in terms of, yeah, mechanics of this sort exist, like this game, out there is on the snowboarding games, but I never played them, so perhaps there is my answer, perhaps, but I don't play them, so I don't really know if I will play them at some point, perhaps, but not really feeling it right now. I love I love this, and I don't really need to play it. Yes, I am satisfied with this. And even so, the point was really far more to have something to do while trying to pick out other stuff, which I guess already happened, so that's why it doesn't really matter what's the exact gameplay. Very few games which I say, oh yeah, these are worth streaming. And having to learn the whole degree of mechanics for a new game is always a hurdle. The point until you can actually easily naturalize playing the game in the way in which I like to do it, which is playing the game while speaking. And until that can naturally happen, it takes a lot of practice and not enough to actually demand from me. What the fuck are you talking about? That wasn't out of bounds. Make it, at least for me, not really enjoyable. So, I don't really want to grind anything else either. That's the whole explanation. Thank you for asking. I mean, for example, I remember I did before, like, the whole campaign almost twice. Oh no, cannot believe it. I ran over someone who could have done that, man. Who could have ever done that? Do I get points for that? No, exactly for that, no, actually. But am I targeting them? Nah, you're just imagining that. You're targeting people. Why would I do that? Also, those are rocks amazing. I just got run over by a rock and you won't say anything about that. You will complain about me killing someone with a bike. Not even killing them, just like hitting them softly so that they fall. But you won't say anything about the fucking rocks almost obliterating my existence. See, those are some double standards. So because it is a natural disaster, it is acceptable. What are those double standards, man? Like, aren't I a force of nature? Don't people know that people here are doing, like, mountain bike? Who is at fault then? The people who knows that there are people doing mountain biking, or the mountain biker who just happened to run over them? Have you ever asked yourself that? Maybe I am not at fault here. Maybe they just needed to get out of the way. Oh my god, kill myself. But yeah, it's as you can see, basically, my point has been proven. It doesn't really take 50 minutes. It takes a handful of them to actually finish a race. The issue is when you have to do some challenges to finish them. But the maps are incredibly short. And I don't know, okay. There is also something. Why this game particularly? I don't think it's impossible to perceive on which you can see very well how the map design is so incredibly strange. I love it. That's why I also like this game. I think it's one of the few games which actually has an absolutely unique map design. Or course design. Compared to what other racing games have, so that's also why. I was gonna say something like, unavoidably. It's surprising that we don't have games which contain completely unique visuals to them, like... how is it? Games that are capable of creating something like aliens running in completely different ways and whatnot. We don't have that exist, but to some extent it's understandable. Did I hear? Yeah. I saw some clips from One Pixel. It's, I wouldn't say crazy, I mean, it's understandable. It was the whole implementation that they had to avoid, what is it, getting fined by the European Union? Or, yeah, EU? By the European Commission, actually. Because they have still loot boxes and whatnot.
Your rank is upgraded to Expert Racer. You now earn 2 times the cash for race placement and checkpoint bonus.
And because of that, they now have this new system of... what are they called? They have a particular name, I don't remember it. Something along the lines of... It's not a case, it's like a contract or something like that, I think. Or similar wording like that. Or like... No, it's not interchange. But it has a... It isn't even named cases anymore. For the sake of avoiding as many legal troubles as possible. But yeah, I saw it. And I don't know. I don't gamble, so for me, it's absolutely stupid. I will never pay something like that, but I don't know, people who loves to gamble probably are salivating at the idea of, oh yeah, let's give or a beautiful valve more cash just to get a skin on the gloves that we have and whatnot. But yeah, in short, I did watch that, what you mentioned. And it was fine for me, basically. I couldn't say it. That's my response here. It's fine, I mean, it doesn't really affect me. The whole economy is literally unimportant. Is there a special animation? No, it's actually treated like water, like you can get your bike on fire, but if you stay, the situation is, if you stay too still in water, you simply get, what is it? You fall, and that's the same thing here. It has the same treatment as if it was water, but simply with the other ignition before actually dying. That's all that changes. Also, because I was showing you something, now people are getting ahead of me. Amazing. I died like 7 times, so now obviously people are going to be getting ahead of me. Who could have predicted that? But yeah, no. This game, it's a PS2 game, you cannot really expect that many changes. They did already something wonderful enough with the whole mapping. Like, okay, here comes, actually this is the best map to show you why it is a great game in that sense. Because all of those pathways that you see out there are different places that you could go for towards finishing the race. And I will try to do it. I don't know if I can do it, but I will try to show you. There is another area in which You can skip entire parts of the map by simply jumping properly in some parts of it. It's a beautifully designed game. Here, okay, here. Let me... I need to... Have I watched? Yeah, that's actually how I got to know about some of these areas. You can throw yourself off this, what is it, waterfall. That's why it's so amazing, basically, for me. Fuck! I killed myself. I'm amazing. But yes, it's crazy, actually, the whole way in which the skybox of this game and whatnot is constructed allows for some speedruns incredibly to be incredibly surprising. Can't wait to try it IRL. Amazing. I wouldn't try it. I wouldn't even go close to trying it. Like, I have seen some people do mountain biking for real. I wouldn't do it. I think it's too suicidal, actually. I like the fiction of this game. I wouldn't do it. The whole aspect of, oh yeah, you have to be so in the moment to actually get to survive mountain biking. Perhaps not. Perhaps something tells me that I perhaps would die if I tried it, so I would never. Something like in my city, racing with bikes in my city, I will do it. But that's also because my city isn't full of hills, so it wouldn't mean that I would kill myself if I decided to go too fast on any particular given street. Anyways, we have like, how many maps? 3 more maps to go? 4 with this one, I think so. As I said, it doesn't really take that long to complete. The only issue was my skill issue at play there. Also, can you skip that? Yeah. And there is also a mechanic that you can utilize that is hitting people. Like, you can hit them, you gain points, and you have even weapons. That's another mechanic of this game that I absolutely adore. You slowly upgrade that thing too, like, let me... The whole... Okay, there we go. I have the max thing. Amazing, I killed someone without even hitting them. Now I have bottles. Now I just throw bottles at people and they die, and I get to overtake them because they do. It's an amazingly violent game, I guess. You saw that? I killed that poor person. No! And I also killed myself, so... multiple people died there, so it's all fine, I guess. Does it auto-aim? Yeah, the bottles are auto-aim. Everything else you need to be close to them, because they are all physical attacks. But the bottles... It's blinking. That guy was blinking for a second there, okay. Because it's blinking, it means that you have targeted that person. And as long as it is blinking, I think it is a guaranteed hit. As far as I know, they never actually consider giving the players the possibility of dodging. So if somebody locks on you with a bottle, you are as well as dead. Or if they don't attack, then probably you can survive, but that implies that the other player is going to be merciful. Unavoidably still, this is like single player. Even if there was a method to actually play without the internet, online, I wouldn't know if I would try it. I think that the whole concept of playing against actual hardcore people who knows even more than me the whole game will make it not as enjoyable to some degree. The whole aspect of losing, the whole aspect of not being the best. Unavoidably, you have such a good time because you can always win reliably against the AI that is so fucking easy. So true. Sorry. It's something about enjoying the experience, also not playing for the sake of, wow, let's see who can do better. Actually, oh my god, I didn't die there. I am amazing. Also, this game has some, I wouldn't say weird, but particular music. I am pretty sure I would unavoidably get to earn a fucking copyright. Also, these are onsens, they're called baths, open baths. I don't even remember. It said the place in which we are. If I pause, does it say it? No, doesn't say it. So God knows where we are, but we are in some place. In some place that has all of these buildings and whatnot. That's why I should have paid attention, but I chose not to do that, so... My bad. Sorry. Sorry. My god. Also, wait, can I do this? Yeah. Oh my god. No, 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 no. I screwed myself over. I'm going to lose. Am I? I am. Indeed I am. I am going to lose at the very end. I am amazing. I am a beautiful player. No, 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 no. I'm not. Okay. It was all for the sake of giving it more flavor. Actually, I am so good.
Congratulations, first place.
Okay.
Upgraded to sponsored pro racer.
Oh, wow. And also,
Cash for race placement
something worth
point bonus.
noting here. Let me back up. Here. This actually has like real sponsors. The whole game had real sponsors. That's also another interesting part. Sponsorship here. Like Shimano, Monster, Mountain Dew, I don't know what the fuck is. eBay, Subaru, Ellsworth Intense, Foes, Carapiel, CT, Moto CT I think it is. Trek, Specialized, Gatorade you have here, Power Bar, Amazon. Amazing. All of my favorite brands. And this is the... What is it? The developers and publisher and whatnot. But yeah, point being, it's a good game. You should not buy it. It's to some degree impossible to buy it, I guess. Also, is there any even better bike? No. Can I upgrade this thing? Like, I can actually upgrade this. Okay. Whatever. Exit. And now continuing. Only 3 maps to actually finish. Now we are on Russia. Amazing. To some degree, sadly, it is like unavoidably filled with stereotypes. It's more of a visually impressive, not accurate in terms of where you actually are and whatnot. It is just visually catchy, nothing else to really say in that sense. But you cannot really ask that much for in games of this kind. Also, that was the Yeti. Amazing. There is a lot of stuff that happens so rapidly in the game. Also, I just noticed, because this part of the game has snow, probably the bitrate is dying. But visually it is amazing. Sadly, you might never actually realize that. So absolutely over. But it's fine. It's whatever. Sometimes, just to imagine things is better than to not see them at all. Also, that guy respawned ahead of me. I fucking hate him. And now there are stalagmites falling down. Amazing game. You don't get it. You don't get why I love it so much. Comprehensive. Such a magnificent creation. Why? When did we stop making such great games, man? Why did everything have to be? Ah, no, yeah, you know what? Let's make it in terms of placement accurate. I don't care about if it is accurate or not. Give me something beautiful like this. Give me something astonishingly full of life, of character. The map themselves are memorable. Doesn't matter who you are playing, what car are you using, what parts are you keeping. Doesn't matter at all. What matters is the places which you get to see, the environments which you get to go through. It's so much better like that. But no, everything has to be the same 5 handful of cities, nothing else. So boring, so absolutely boring. But it's how things work, I guess. We get accustomed to that, and no one shall complain, so it's whatever. The majority actually loves the city slope, so better to have that. I mean, probably not, right? Like, there has to be like some brand or something that still does it well, quote unquote. Also, a tiny army, amazing. A tiny, it's not an army, what's the name of the group of militaries working? A band? No, a group? I don't remember. I am too young to actually remember. But yeah, point is, it's great. I know almost nobody who actually played this game, so I feel like it's necessary to talk about it, even if we found it like 50 years late. Or let's say realistically, like, I have to assume 10, 20 years late, it is still amazing. But sometimes even if you arrive to things late, they're still fine. Man, what is BC?
Welcome to the Freeride Gold Cup semifinals, where the top 3 races advance to the final.
What is BC? Do you wanna add anything else, brother? Where is a BC? Mount Max. What? How do you even say that? Ah, amazing. Mount Maxley. Whatever. Also, this guy doesn't even have a hat. Like, no, he has a hat. He doesn't have a helmet. Yeah. He's so hip. You get it. Oh my god, I killed myself. Doesn't matter. At least it surprisingly enough, it didn't have like an actual hardcore race mode in which if you lost once, you had to restart the entire career. Amazingly enough, probably that's like one of the easiest implementations that you could see happening nowadays. If a game like this was made, like, yeah, you know what? You also have one single character that you utilize, and if you die, it means that you have to restart from the very beginning, or something like that. But it's fine. Doesn't need to get modernized, it just needs to get exported for the modern audiences as it is right now. Just give it a better look. It doesn't even need a better look, I would say not. The only problem, I actually did play this game with keyboard before. It wasn't so over, but you will still enjoy the experience even more with a controller, so it will need to come out on consoles too, and that is too much effort. Therefore, it means that we will never have a game like this. I mean, I don't even know what is the trend on Viking games nowadays. Like, do they even really come out? I'm pretty sure I have not heard out any new game of this kind. Not particularly like this, but of any Viking kind in general, like important games or whatever. Notable new and upcoming releases and whatnot. None of those. Perhaps it all died today. Also died with it. It kept itself too closed from the eyes of the people, so it condemned itself to die. Nowadays, mountain biking is only seen as a dangerous activity, no one understanding the beauty of mountain biking in itself. True, also, you get to see the times of the best three other, or the top three, the best two other players. But I don't really even look at that. Unavoidably, the AI is quite slow, so whatever. Point doing final map, and after that we are done for today. I am more than fulfilled with what got to happen.
Gold Cup finals. Racers, take your mark.
Also, didn't I just do this exact same map? What the fuck? What happened? Huh? Yeah, this is literally the same one. I didn't remember that. I didn't know that they repeated maps in this part. I thought it was gonna be actually different. Amazing. No, this is... Is this the same one? Yeah, it is the same one. Okay. Whatever. God knows why they chose to do it like that. It's not like the game doesn't have enough maps. It has like, I think, 30, 40? They could have actually just chosen a different one. What an odd choice. Also, I am literally next to the group. I should actually log in before I lose on the last race. But it is arcade, it's not like you actually... No, it's not an arcade. On the contrary, it's not like you lose, you can restart infinitely until you get to finally win. And I think you can even win without being first place. Ever. That's one of the quote-unquote advantages of this game. That it allows everybody to have the sensation of winning, as long as you get like, let's say, 4th place? No, 3rd place. You start accumulating points until you can actually pass to the next point. Advance to the next area. But yeah, it's whatever. Ah. Muchas gracias. No hay problema, pongo. Está bien, está bien. Saludos, hermana de pequeña. But also, just in case it is mostly on English, I would say, so that's any consideration in terms of if you don't understand that much, please tell me. Also, there it is anyways, done. Good enough, easy enough. Great enough experience. But yeah, thank you. Awards, that was. And it even has cinematics for the ending. Amazing. Wow. But yeah, how long did it actually take? I didn't even check this time around. Did it say? Probably I missed it. Can happen. it had to say, and I did ignore it. Point being, it doesn't take that long. As I said, the last time it took like 50 minutes because it was way too fucking hard for me to actually win, sadly. But yeah, that's the mode, I guess. That's most of the game. I don't know anything else to really show. Like, I don't know. I think we're good for today. We're good. Yeah, we're fine enough. I'm content with whatever. So that's it for today. Yes. Oh, yeah. Took long enough, anyways. So yeah, we will be calling it over here, at around here, basically. Also, let me. Wow. But yeah, there we go. Basically, as always. Thanks for everything. It was pretty great. I wasn't even like absolutely sure of being here today, but it ended up being something else. The whole aspect of whenever you get to actually convince yourself to do stuff, the moment in which you're doing it, you realize that you were having an amazing time. You just needed to actually believe that that was going to happen. But yeah, we got to do this, so great. Another day, another instance of being here, another opportunity. Yeah, I don't know. We are probably done. I don't think there is anything else to really do. I don't really have anything else to add, so as always, thanks for everything. Great day, great night, great evening. Thanks for the time, the attention, the patience, and yeah, keep yourself safe. Have a good night, have a great evening. Be responsible, hydrate, I don't know, all of that stuff. And whenever we get to see ourselves, we will do so. And even if we don't get to do that, it doesn't matter at all. It was great enough as it was today, so yeah, take care. Goodbye.